welcome to Call Me When They Kiss. I'm Sydney.
I'm Issa. And if this is your first time tuning in, Sydney and I discuss a different romance movie every Friday. And the last Monday of every month, we discuss a romance book, which we just put out our very first book episode this past Monday. So if you missed it, go back and listen to it. We discussed People We Meet on Vacation, which that movie's coming out next week. And I'm literally so excited. Every single thing that Netflix has posted about it, I just want to repost it, reshare it everywhere, and it's just getting me more and more excited.
I have been. Like, literally every new clip, I'm like, post to the story. I posted it on the podcast account and then my book account, and I almost posted it on my personal account too, but then I was like,
but it is personal. To us, it's very personal.
And if you missed our last episode, it's sort of like the whole reason why we were doing When Harry Met Sally today, because we'd heard that People We Meet on Vacation was inspired by When Harry Met Sally, and I'm really excited to discuss that because I can definitely see the similarities. So yeah, watch our last episode, but also stay updated for our next episode, which will be about the People We Meet on Vacation movie. Is that our next up? No, wait, that's in 2. No, that's our next episode.
Yeah, it is our next episode. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And, well, okay, so this is me and Sydney's plan, you guys. Sorry, we're kind of like getting ahead of ourselves, but now that we're on the topic. So we are staying up and watching it the night it comes out. And then we decided, at first we were just going to immediately record the episode.
At like
but
3
we've learned, yeah. But we've learned from experience that we actually don't do very well recording late at night. So we're going to go to bed, wake up first thing in the morning, and record the episode and put the episode out for you guys that same day. So next Friday, our episode might be a few hours late, but we're going to be like on the ground, first ones reporting on People We Meet on Vacation. Yes. I guess it probably doesn't matter if the episode's a few hours late because most people probably aren't watching it until Friday night.
Yeah, and it's one, like, I definitely wouldn't listen to the podcast before I watched it.
No, yeah, like, I wouldn't want spoilers, for sure.
So we're good. But it's going to be exciting. Yeah. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we're so pumped. And then we're watching it again Friday night with friends.
Yeah. If this isn't, like, the best movie I've seen all year, I'm going to be really disappointed because I've really built it up in my head.
I know, but also, like, what are we going to look forward to the rest of the year? Because this is happening January 9th.
Well, we've got Bridgerton a few weeks later. I'm not quite as excited about Bridgerton, though, but I am still looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'll get more excited for Bridgerton after People We Meet on Vacation comes out.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just, like, not even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not a priority. So what else have you been watching or reading?
Well, I'd also like to say, if you're tuning in today because you think that this is an anti-Dwayne The Rock Johnson podcast, I'm sorry if you're disappointed.
Yeah, we had
Do we need to, like, start pandering to our 50 new male followers we got?
No, I was literally thinking about that just today because when my mom was talking about how she had listened to the part of our podcast where we were talking about audiobook speeds, and I said something like, oh, you know, I think it's just like a skill that women have. And then I was like, are we going to have men listening to this podcast? Because I definitely plan this podcast around having a mostly female audience, or just definitely not like cisgender film dudes. And so we'll see if any of them listen to this, but it's like almost close to 100 new followers.
I know. And we might have to, like, watch Pulp Fiction next week or The Godfather. Like, we might have to pivot.
This isn't a romance podcast anymore, guys. We're going to watch dude films. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that actually would have been a really good podcast where, like, female,
like, girls, like,
yeah, like, we watch all the movies that are stereotypically, like, dude movies and, like, see what we think of them. Maybe that could be bonus episodes.
You might be onto something, yeah, maybe. Did you say a bonus episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should. I've never seen The Godfather. I've seen part of Pulp Fiction.
Typically don't watch. I mean, I say I don't watch dude movies as I'm wearing, like, Kylo Ren Sure. And so like,
But don't dudes hate those Star Wars movies?
Yeah. That's a really good point. Like Star Wars generally does feel like a male-dominated fandom, but the things that I love about Star Wars is exactly what the male fandom hates. So yeah, I'm reclaiming it. But
good, as you should.
Yeah, so to all our fellow Dwayne The Rock Johnson haters, welcome. We hope you find a new love for the romance genre.
Yeah, all are welcome here. Okay, yeah, what have you been reading this week, Sydney?
I've made no progress. To be fair, this is like the third podcast episode we've recorded this week. And so I feel like
that's true.
We're recording too quickly for me to make any progress. I have not read or watched anything that I haven't mentioned in other episodes, but you have.
Yes, well, I know this episode comes out after the new year, but as of the day we're recording it, I still have 5 days left to meet my reading goal.
So what number are you at now?
Like 55. I gotta finish like one book a day.
You're so close though.
I know, that's what's annoying about it. It's like I'm close enough that I feel like I can't give up, but
also you
at
don't
the
want
same
to listen to
time,
one book.
yes, and it's like I have so much going on the next few days with family, and then I'm leaving town, and I just don't want to like spend all this time trying to make it to just not make it anyway.
Do short stories compiled in one book count?
I don't think so.
Ugh, yeah, that's tough.
I'm trying to think if I've even finished anything good lately. That's the other thing. Like, I'm not really... Actually, I read a really good book that surprised me. It wasn't fantasy and it wasn't romance.
What was it?
It's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And it's like literary fiction, and it was about video game creators, designers, programmers. It was actually really good.
I actually think I would like the literary fiction genre. Like, it's the one genre I've read some that have. It still leans more romance than literary fiction, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's one that I've never really dived into, but that I actually think I would like if I gave it a chance.
Yeah.
Should I read that one?
Well, I think one of the reasons I liked it was because I played just enough video games that it was like I found that to be interesting.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't sound interesting to you, maybe you wouldn't like it. But I do agree that you would like literary fiction.
Yeah.
Just because based on the other books I know you like and what you like about them.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Follow up the
Not
next
that
podcast.
I'm an expert on that genre, but
I do need to branch out though. Especially when I'm reading all these romance, I'm like, I hate all of these. And then I'm like, maybe I'm not that romance as a whole is the wrong genre, but like maybe I need to branch out and try something new. So
honestly, every time I branch out, I'm like, oh wait, that was actually really good.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, have you watched anything lately?
Just When Harry Met Sally.
I have one movie I want to talk about that I watched. I went and saw The Housemaid. Wait, so are you not going to go anymore?
I'm kind of scared to watch it, so I don't think I'm going to.
Well, that's fine. You didn't miss a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have fun going to see it in the theaters. And I just have to say, I know I posted a TikTok about this, and we talked about it in our last episode, but I just have to say one more time, I really think Brandon Sklenar, I figured out that's how you say his name, I really think he's hot, and I really need him in an Emily Henry adaptation, preferably Happy Place.
And you know what? Isa converted me on this because at first I was like, I don't know. But the more I ponder and reflect on this choice, I'm like, wait, this is actually genius. And I was telling Issa this, but like, I totally forgot that Wynn was a carpenter. And I feel like that's like a really important part of his character. And something about Brand, I think maybe like his build.
He gives carpenter vibes.
Yeah, like he's not like you don't see skinny, scrawny guys being carpenters. Like you do have to like have a little bit of strength, but he's also not like total male gaze Chris Hemsworth built. Do you know what I mean? Like he's kind of a nice medium, and I'm really sold on this.
If you don't know,
watch it just to like, I kind of want to watch The Housemaid just to get more of his like filmography. Oh my gosh,
I think you could. Okay, if anyone's wondering, Sydney's just a little bit queasier than me, but I think you could handle it. Okay, and I
How
need
much
to say a
blood?
housemaid spoiler. If you don't want housemaid spoilers, skip ahead like 1 minute. Brandon Sklenar, he's the bad guy in The Housemaid. That's like the twist. But even with him as the bad guy, the whole time I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so hot.
Okay, well now I'm curious.
How much blood?
Yeah. Or like what
Do you want
is
me
the
to?
type of violence? Like
Okay, do you want me to tell you the worst part?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, again, if you don't want housemaid spoilers, skip ahead, or maybe we'll just cut this out. He makes her like cut her stomach,
Oh.
but they're not like deep cuts, but like it shows her like cutting her stomach and it just like makes like an icky sound. To me, that was the worst part.
So even as a bad guy though, you can still see him as being
Yeah.
this romantic leading man. It would be interesting to see him do more, but I do think he's like in that right level of fame right now to still be in something like Emily Henry, but it has to happen quickly.
The only thing is, it ends with Us and The Housemaid both got theatrical releases.
That's true.
So if he's going to be in an Emily Henry adaptation, but why won't they just put her movies in the theater?
I know. And that's my concern about Happy Place being a TV show too. Is like it's a completely different like range of actors that are willing to do like a TV series versus a movie. So
yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, that's the only thing I've watched this week besides When Harry Met Sally.
And When Harry Met Sally is a drastically different movie than The Housemaid. So did you just watch it last night? When Harry Met Sally?
I woke up this morning and watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah, so it's very fresh in my mind.
Okay.
I don't know if that will be better or worse, because sometimes I feel like I need to sit on things and, let them really soak in. Okay, so if you listened to our bonus episode that came out on Monday, Cindy and I have decided to try this new thing where we write out more detailed plot summaries for both the movies we watch and the books we read, just so that when it's just easier to like read the plot summary, make sure we hit all the plot points we want to hit, and we're not sitting here trying to come up with it on the fly. And that way later on in our discussion, we don't have to worry about being like, oh yeah, well then there was this plot point that we actually didn't explain to you guys. So if you watch the movie, maybe you could skip ahead like 2 or 3 minutes. If you didn't watch the movie, I'm going to read a pretty detailed plot summary. This is When Harry Met Sally. Harry and Sally meet when Sally gives Harry a ride home to New York after they've both just graduated from the University of Chicago. They do not get along on the 18-hour drive. Their most significant discussion is about whether a straight man and a straight woman can actually be friends, with Harry declaring, no, they can't be because the man probably wants to have sex with the woman. They part ways in New York, expecting to never see each other again. 5 years later, their paths cross a second time and they sit by each other on an airplane. Sally has just started dating a man named Joe, and Harry is about to marry a woman named Helen. Sally is exasperated that it took Harry a minute to place her, and they again part ways, not expecting to ever see each other. Another 5 years pass, and Sally and Joe have just broken up. Sally explains that for a long time, her and Joe wanted the same thing, to live together and not get married and not have kids. Ultimately, Sally decided she did want to have kids, which led to their breakup. Meanwhile, Helen has just asked Harry for a divorce. Sally and Harry's paths once again cross, and this time they form a friendship, bonding over the demise of their long-term relationships. Sally insists that she is over Joe, while Harry is openly distraught over his divorce. Months go by with Harry and Sally becoming closer and closer friends. Harry tries to set Sally up with his friend Jess, and Sally tries to set Harry up with her friend Marie, but Jess and Marie hit it off and eventually get married. Harry and Sally both date other people, and unbeknownst to each other, both separately express annoyance at the other's current fling. One night, Sally calls Harry and asks him to come over. She has just discovered that Joe is about to get married. This is seemingly the first time that Sally has expressed any sort of emotion over her breakup with Joe. She realizes that what he said about not wanting to get married wasn't actually true. He just didn't want to marry her. As Harry is comforting her, Sally kisses him and they have sex. As I've been writing these summaries, I never know, I'm like, and then they have sex. I don't know what else to say or how I should say it.
And then they make love.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's what they did. They had sex.
Anyway, afterwards, Harry leaves abruptly. Both of them are confused and stressed out. Sally tells Harry that it was a mistake, not because she truly believes it, but because she knows that this is what he will want to hear, and it is probably what he is thinking himself. She is upset that the whole thing was seemingly meaningless to Harry and distances herself from him. Eventually, they get into a bigger argument about the situation where Harry somewhat accidentally implies he slept with Sally out of pity. After this, Sally distances herself even more from Harry. For a couple weeks, Harry persistently tries calling Sally. Finally, she answers one of his calls and lets him apologize, but rejects his offer to be her date on New Year's Eve, telling him she won't be his consolation prize. Sally goes to a New Year's Eve party by herself and has a miserable time. Harry wanders the streets of New York by himself, also having a miserable time. He reflects on his friendship with Sally and realizes he loves her and wants to spend his life with her. He runs to the New Year's Eve party, finds Sally, and tells her all the things he loves about her. She tells him she hates him because she can't stay mad at him when he says things like that. Then they kiss and live happily ever after.
The end.
The end. So there you go. In case you didn't watch the movie, there's all the spoilers. And by the way, Harry is played by Billy Crystal, and Sally is played by the rom-com queen Meg Ryan. Have you seen Billy Crystal? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, are you gonna ask if I've seen him in anything else?
Yeah. Have you?
No, until I realized he was Mike Wazowski. So if that counts, then yes.
I forgot about that. Well, you haven't seen The Princess Bride?
Well, okay, I have seen The Princess Bride, and I saw, like, when I was looking through what movies he was in, I saw that he was in The Princess Bride, but I can't place what character he played.
Oh, he's Miracle Max. It's because he, like, doesn't even look like himself in The Princess Bride.
Let me look it up.
He's like the old man that brings Wesley back to life.
Oh.
And he's like, and his wife is like, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
Oh, yeah, I did not realize that was him.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking. I looked it up, but I know who you're talking about.
I think that's the only thing I've seen him in besides, like you said, Monsters, Inc.
Well, I think that this is kind of like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with all the rest of his movies, but when I was looking through it, it looks like this might be his only movie where he played like a romantic lead, sort of similar to Ethan Hawke.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
It's just funny that, like, it was like a big movie and then, like, I mean, same with Ethan Hawke, like, with both of these, like, critically acclaimed big movies and these guys, and then, like, they never really play a role like that again. But, yeah, my mom has, like, as long as I could remember, has teased my dad about having a crush on Meg Ryan. But then I brought up last night that I needed to watch the movie, and my dad was like, oh, I've actually never seen that movie. I never had an interest. Which, to be fair, like, it came out in 89, and my dad was born in 75. So, like, he was only 14 years old, and I could understand why a 14-year-old boy wouldn't, like, be interested in watching this movie. But yeah, I brought up the fact that, like, well, but don't you have a crush on Meg Ryan? And he said it's a lie, but my mom was there and was insisting that he has a crush on her. But it's just funny that they're, like... Meg Ryan, yeah, like you said, she's like the queen of these rom-coms, but I think this is actually the first movie I've seen with her in it.
The only other one I've seen is You've Got Mail.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen that one. That one has Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of it. This is why I said I have some Kiss, Marry, Kill options prepared for Issa, because the leading men of these 80s movies just have me scratching my head a little bit.
Well...
But Billy Crystal kind of grew on me.
That's funny.
I'm like, is that just me?
No, I get it. Like, he's just cute enough that it's, like, believable, this friends to lovers movie. Yeah. But I don't know if he really... His hair was bugging me.
But, like, with the beard... Like midway through,
the beard,
where like
the beard
his hair's
help,
better and he's got a beard.
It was funny because they put him in that wig at the very beginning when they're supposed to be college students, and it did not match the texture of his real hair at all.
Yeah,
it was like straight. It was straight hair
and then like little bangs.
Yeah, he has like, but in real life he has like Corey Matthews Boy Meets World hair.
Yeah.
Okay, but. While we're talking about Billy Crystal, do you know how old he was in this movie and how old Meg Ryan was?
Don't, but I just looked up his age and saw that he was 71, and I was like, dang, you must have been old.
71? I thought he was like 77.
Is he even older? How old was he in the movie?
Yeah, he's 77. He was 41 in the movie, and Meg Ryan is only 28.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and
I
she's
always
only
wonder.
playing. Wait. Oh, she's playing like a 32-year-old
Yeah.
at the oldest point. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But
Dang.
I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say?
You said I always wondered.
Oh, I always wonder when like a young actress has to like kiss a way old. I mean, it's not that huge of an age gap, but
if she's
that's like
I'm a hot young rom-com queen,
right.
and Billy Crystal is a 41-year-old like comedy dude, like did she feel any sort of like weirdness?
I'm almost 28, so I'm trying to imagine kissing a 41-year-old. I don't think I know any 41-year-olds though off the top of my head.
Well, this is like a little bit unrelated, but it reminded me that in Phantom of the Opera, Gerard Butler was 34 and Emmy Rossum, who plays Christine, she was only 17. Like, she wasn't even graduated from high school yet. And her first kisses
That's crazy.
or her first kiss, I don't know which one was first, but like her first two kisses were both of those leading men in Phantom of the Opera. And they were both, I think, I don't know if the younger guy, what's his name? Raul. I don't know if he was in his 20s or not, but that would be really weird as like a 17-year-old kissing.
Yeah. That's like my
age.
sister. Yeah. I'm just thinking about my little sister. She's 17.
But I would do
kissing
it too for a
someone
check.
older
No.
than me and Ryan. Like, that's weird.
What would
and
be
it's
your
like
limit?
Keira Knightley.
Oh yeah, Keira Knightley in Pirates.
Wait, like how old was Orlando Bloom? Like in
I think
Pirates of the Caribbean?
that it was younger. Like, I don't think he was in his 30s, but I mean, she had to kiss Johnny Depp in the second movie, so she couldn't have been like that much older at that point. And I think Johnny Depp was like in his 30s.
Orlando Bloom is 8 years older than Keira Knightley. I just
Okay,
Googled
that's not
it.
too bad. And Johnny Depp?
But when you're 17,
I mean,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Johnny Depp is 62. Orlando Bloom is 48. Wait, what?
So he was like 25 if she was 17 in the first one.
Wait, but you said Orlando Bloom is 8 years older than Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp is 14 years older than Orlando Bloom?
I guess so, yeah.
Wouldn't that make him like 25 years older than Keira Knightley?
Yeah. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, because they had to kiss
Johnny
when she
Depp
was
is
like,
old.
when she was like 18 or 19 years old. That is weird.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
mean, yeah, the Orlando Bloom age gap would be weird, 17 and 25 or however, whatever it is, you know? But like, even if it was a couple of years later that she had to kiss Johnny Depp, yeah, that would be weird. That's like full on her father.
Anytime anyone kisses on screen, I have to know how old they are.
Meg Ryan's actually younger than I thought. The styles were so 80 era that like it was in that era that the style kind of aged people up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think that she was like in her 20s still.
Well, that's funny that you say that about that era, like aging people up, because I feel like that is a problem nowadays, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Because like kids have social media so much younger, so like little girls want to be wearing makeup or having their nails done or dressing a certain way.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe
like
it's just always been a thing. Yeah.
Well, it's like the 80s made the 80s made 30-year-old women look like they were in their 50s, like the mom on Home Alone. She was only like 30 years old when they filmed that movie. But the current day makes 14-year-olds look like 30-year-olds. So it's like they're both aging people, but like 20 years sooner.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it.
Yeah. So what did you think of the movie overall?
Do you want me to share my rating?
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
But that sounds low, but I did really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I liked it more than Before Sunrise. We need to do a post where we explain what our ratings mean, I think.
No, that's a good point.
Because 3.5 for me is, I still liked it.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I would watch it again. I thought it was funny. I was laughing out loud. But it just wasn't like, it didn't like sweep me off my feet romance that way.
But no, I get it. Like, it's hard to give anything a 3. But when you think of that on a 3.5, but on a scale of 10, like that's a 7. And I've always taken a 7, like when, this is a terrible comparison, but when it was like my status for rate, and like guys would rate, like 7 was like a nice score, where it was like,
You're like, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, it was like, no, like, I don't think you're ugly, you're just not a 10. And it's like, well, I don't think I'm a 10 either. So like 7 felt like
Sydney, you are a 10.
Thank you. But like a 7 just always felt like a little bit nicer than like a 6. That sounds bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's like barely passing 50%, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think sometimes viewing it on the scale of 10 makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
it's just, I was just going to say that I guess that I was actually struggling with this because like a 4 felt a little too generous, but a 3.5 felt like exactly what you're explaining. Because I feel like if it's a 4, I have to say like I loved it. Mm-hmm. Even if it wasn't like my favorite, I still loved it. And this is like, I really liked it. Maybe 3.75 for me.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a normal rating for something that you liked. I think that we're so used to being in these like book talk or bookstagram spaces where I think people kind of inflate their ratings.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to be like, yeah, I gave it a 3.5 and I really liked it and would watch it again. But no, I don't think it's like one of my favorites.
Yeah. I will say though, even though I did really like it, like when I was looking over some of the like accolades it got, and like it's often cited as like the funniest rom-com of all time, I'm like I really like this, and there were some parts that I found really funny, but I've definitely watched like rom-coms that have made me laugh a lot more. However, it's kind of a blurry line because the ones that I've laughed more, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, really funny, but like over the top, ridiculous, insane scenarios. Like it's just a different kind of funny. And so I'll give it credit for that, like for making me laugh in a way that's like still felt like I could be watching this play out in real life.
Yeah.
Versus the romantic comedies that are like, well, I'm laughing a lot and I love this, but like this would never happen in real life.
That's a really good point. And in the hour between when I finished this movie and we started recording the podcast, I was like reading about the movie online and on Reddit and stuff. And I read an article that basically said that same thing. It was like the really good thing about When Harry Met Sally is it's a funny romantic comedy with no gimmicks. Yeah. Like it's pretty realistic. There's no gimmicky, crazy scenario like you were saying, like fake dating or some sort of bet going on, or you know,
like she's the man. Like
right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know, since we were talking about the funny, like we did laugh during it, what were the funniest parts to you?
Well, okay. 2 things. Well, I'm going to say some parts that I laughed, but first, the part, like the iconic famous scene that I'll have what she's having.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to this movie last night, and it was kind of turned up loud on my TV, and my parents are over for Christmas break, and they're staying in the room, like, beneath us in the basement, and, like, as soon as that scene was done, I, like, heard them talking, like, come up through the vents, and I was like, could they hear this? And, like, do they know I'm watching When Harry Met Sally right now? Like, I think so it went on a little bit too long for Alan. I was watching it with him, and he was like, but I did think it was funny.
Yeah.
I also like did a snort laugh when he was like explaining the joke that he told his friend. No, wait. He was on a date with a girl at like a restaurant. Yeah. It's a really like not politically correct joke anymore. But it did make me snort laugh, and I was like, oh, that's a good one. I would have laughed.
Yeah. No, I thought Billy Crystal was super funny the whole time.
And maybe that's why he grew on me. Like, like you said, like he's just cute enough that like this story is believable. A lot of reviews like saw that he came off as like too douchey, which I thought was interesting. But
well, that's what I was gonna say. Like he was really unappealing at the beginning.
Yeah. And then,
But
like,
it makes
as time goes on.
right. I think the time skips help because it made it more believable that he evolved and matured.
Yeah. I didn't think he was a douche at the end. I think he was just kind of confused for a little bit.
Mhm.
But what
Yeah.
parts made you laugh?
I really thought it was funny when he was telling his friend that he was getting divorced and they were at, I don't know if they were at I think it was a baseball game.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to keep doing the wave.
Yeah.
Like throughout the whole time he's trying to tell his friend that he's getting divorced. And just the way he told the story was so funny. Like the part about, he was like, and that sentence is still hanging there like a balloon in a cartoon, like a thought bubble. I don't know. It
And
was
then
funny in the movie.
Yeah.
And then what was the other? I feel like there was another part that I really thought was funny. It's escaping me, but
I know, I've already
No,
forgotten
Billy-
it. Because now that you
I
said that,
know.
I was like, oh, yeah, that scene was really funny.
yeah, no, I thought Billy Crystal was funny the whole time.
Yeah.
I did really like. Oh, sorry.
I was
We've
just
been doing that more and more.
I-
Okay, sorry. You go
go.
first.
I was just going to say,
I
the
think
only
we
part
need to start. We need to start like raising our hands.
The only part I really didn't think was very funny was when he was doing, I'm not a fan of silly little voices. And so when he was like, repeat after me, I'm like, I don't like silly voices. It gave me the ick, but
I like how you
Okay.
phrased that. I'm not a fan of silly little voices. God forbid Alan try to be a little silly goofy
oh
sometimes.
my gosh, if Alan walked up to me and started talking to me like that, I'd be like, I'm getting a divorce. No, just kidding.
No, that part, how did I feel about that part? I don't know. I kind of like it when movies throw funny little things in there like that. It makes it feel kind of more real to me.
Well, I thought it was.
But at the same time, I cringe.
Well, when he like asked her, like that was the first time that he was like I don't know, he was like asking her to go to a movie, and she ended up having a date, and I was like, oh, maybe he's just like, it's just him like, I don't know, showing a little bit of awkwardness or whatever. You know? So
being
like,
a little bit shy.
yeah, like maybe if I ask her in this silly way, like that was actually one of the first hints that I got. Like, oh, maybe like does he like her?
Mm-hmm.
So what were you gonna say?
All I was trying to say was I did really like Meg Ryan in it as well. Like I thought she was really cute and fun. And I thought she was funny.
The only part with her that I thought, now this feels like the scene itself wasn't unrealistic, like when she was crying, but just the way she was acting was a little bit silly. Of like wiping and throwing the tissue,
Yeah.
like when she's crying, like. But I didn't mind it that much, but I just felt like it just felt like a sort of different type of acting that had been happening throughout the whole movie, you know?
Yeah. It felt a little bit more How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Like her friend is really over the top upset about her boyfriend the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like more silly, goofy, than
Yeah.
the rest of the movie. No, I had that same thought. Okay, well, I do want to talk about that scene, but maybe we should come back to it because that's like more towards the end of the movie.
I know, I'm trying to think like what order should we go in?
Well, I want to talk about, maybe we should review our notes, but I wanted to talk about the people we meet on vacation inspo.
Oh yeah. That was what was at the
Ru-
beginning of my notes.
Right off the very bat, they meet the same way. Well, not, I guess Poppy and Alex, they had met once before.
Yeah.
But Harry and Sally meet because they're driving home from college together. And that's when Poppy and Alex first really spend a good amount of time together bonding.
It sounded like they had known each other somehow, though, because like they knew people in common. Because she was talking about like a guy.
But when she... Yeah, it sounded... Well, I didn't know if he was just making fun of her for sleeping with someone named Sheldon. I didn't know if he actually knew Sheldon.
You're right.
But when she like pulls up to pick him up because she's driving him home, her friend that he was dating, Amanda.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda's like, "Hi, Sally, this is Harry."
Oh, so maybe they just knew, like, maybe Amanda was just like, oh, I know this, Harry needs a ride home or whatever.
Right.
Or not home, to New York.
To New York, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
did
sure
start
how...
immediate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much people we meet on vacation we were actually going to be able to connect other than it just being friends to lovers.
Mm-hmm.
But that got me all excited when I was like, oh my gosh, it is like the same thing.
It did feel pretty closely related. Like, I wasn't sure if people were just saying, like, oh, it's inspired by this because, like you just said, like, because there's similar tropes, or if it was, like, actually inspired by this storyline. And I could see a lot of similarities. My very first note that I wrote when they were in the car was that I was getting Alex vibes from her and more Poppy vibes from him. And of course, they're not like copy and paste of the same characters. They're very different. But I do kind of stand by that. Like, as the rest of the movie went on, like, she's kind of the one offended that's like, oh, did this not mean anything to you? She kind of had different expectations than he did, and like that kind of, I feel like, carries on throughout the movie. Like I said, not identically, but I could see maybe where she was like inspired by them and then like swapped it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alex and Harry are definitely nothing close to the same character.
Yeah.
Alex is just like sweet angel, perfect boy. And like we were saying, Harry's kind of a douche at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
not that
no,
Poppy's a douche, but she's a little bit more just like, you know, carefree and doesn't care about, you know, like him spitting the grapes out the window kind of gave me like I felt like Poppy would do that. You know how she puts her feet on the dashboard and he's like, so.
No, that's true. That's interesting because I had been too busy thinking like, oh, he's nothing like Alex. But when you flip the genders, I can see that.
I mean, like, a lot of these concepts don't really seem super original, but apparently kind of like started from this, you know? And so, I mean, there's a lot more similarities that I see, but I haven't watched enough romantic comedies from that era to know if it truly like originated in like When Harry Met Sally, like created this. And so these similarities are between People We Meet on Vacation and When Harry Met Sally, or if it's just kind of like the tropes in general. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like what specifically are you talking about?
Like, I don't know how many other movies like had them, you know, the time jumps and the back and forths and the
I see.
like the long time span and them dating other people, and because like all of those aspects are very similar.
Two People We Meet on Vacation.
Two People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's interesting that you bring that up because I saw someone on Reddit saying that. They were like, I don't get it. Like, they watched the movie recently in modern
we might
times,
have been looking
I
at the same
suppose.
Reddit.
Probably. It was like the first Google search.
Yeah.
But they were like, I don't get why this movie's such a big deal. And someone responded and said it was revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
But then someone rebutted that and said, well, not really. Like, like movies and books depicting imperfect relationships have existed forever. Like Wuthering Heights, Pride and Prejudice. So they were arguing that it wasn't like that revolutionary. But Wuthering Heights and Pride and Prejudice, those aren't romantic comedies.
Yeah,
So
like I can understand,
for...
like, yes, there were films showing like imperfect people and imperfect couples that bonded, but I thought more of just the way of like, yeah, what you're saying, like the comedy aspect and more of just like the plot overall. This is just on Wikipedia, so it's not like a scholarly source, but it said that it did help popularize many ideas about love that have become household concepts now, such as the high maintenance girlfriend, like when they talk about that.
Oh.
And like the transitional person, where she's like, she was supposed to be just his transition person, like not the
like
person
a rebound.
he marries, and that like this movie is like what really helped like bring those sort of elements like to mainstream that has now been showed in like all of these rom-coms, you know what I mean?
Well, if that's the case, then respect to When Harry Met Sally for sure. I read an article like a year ago. This was a long time ago, back when this podcast was just a twinkle in our eye. But I read this really interesting article about how it sounds really dramatic, how When Harry Met Sally was bad for feminism because it coined the high maintenance woman term.
That's funny.
And that does annoy me, like the concept of the high maintenance woman.
But, like, he falls in love with her. Like, it's kind of like what we were talking about with people we meet on vacation, how Alex had these kind of icks. And I feel like she, and this is, again, what some of the similarities I saw between, like, she and Alex. They're very particular about certain things, and they're things that other people might consider icks. That, like, you know, she orders in this way where she says what she wants, but then changes essentially everything about it. And a lot of people could see that as, like, off-putting or high maintenance or whatever. But that, like, but they did become best friends and he fell in love with her. So I thought that it kind of showed more of anyone that judges a person off that, you know, label of high maintenance or low maintenance or whatever is just silly, because once you become friends with these people and you really know them and you, like, come to love them, that those things don't really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And the joke didn't bother me in the movie. I just thought it was interesting that that's where it came from, basically. Yeah. It, like, popularized that concept of the high maintenance woman.
Well, and this actually kind of leads into what I was going to ask, because there's so many elements, like, into movie making. There's the director, there's the writer, there's, like, screenplay and script. So I saw that, like we wanted to watch this because Rob Reiner directed it, but Nora Ephron wrote it, and she wrote When You Got Mail. Like, her and Rob Reiner have worked on a lot of films together where he's directed and she wrote. And she wrote Sleepless in Seattle. She also wrote, I think it was called, like, Bewitched, and it was really weird because it's Will Ferrell playing a romantic lead, which I never thought that I would see. But, like, so then I thought at first, like, okay, so who's, you know, Rob Reiner was kind of credited for the success of this, or maybe she was just as much, but maybe she's just not brought up in the media quite as often now. But then I thought, just as we were talking, like, well, who wrote the script? Like, who wrote that joke? And it's kind of interesting to see, like, who gets credit for these, like, successful movies, because most often we talk about the director. But I'm like, and maybe I just don't know enough about film, like, what does the director do that's like, you made this movie good, versus the script writer, the screenplay writer, like, the writer overall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that is a good question, and I don't, like, fully have the answer. But I know Nora Ephron was credited as the writer, like, it wasn't Nora Ephron and Rob Reiner. And then I was reading, and this article just came out recently, probably since Rob Reiner just died, but I read an article about When Harry Met Sally, and it said that Rob Reiner had the idea, he had, like, the concept figured out because he had just gotten divorced.
Oh.
And then he, like, brought Nora Ephron on, and kind of like Before Sunrise, like, she provided the woman's perspective. And because, you know, a lot of the jokes
I have
are like
this idea, but she more.
Yeah. And she said that, and it said that, like, a lot of the script and the jokes came from, like, Rob Reiner's and someone else. I don't know if it was just a friend or someone else involved in the movie, but basically their confessionals, lamenting, dating, because Rob Reiner didn't want to go back to the bachelor life after his divorce.
Yeah.
And then originally, I guess Harry and Sally weren't going to end up together because Rob Reiner was feeling so skeptical about love.
Yeah.
But then he met his next wife, who he ended up being with for 36 years. I'm guessing she's the one that just died too.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
And so then Harry and Sally end up together at the end of the movie.
Aw. Well, I'm glad. I don't think I would have liked this movie if they didn't end up together.
No.
Would you?
But in conclusion, I mean, I would. It's funny because, like, I think I've heard more about Nora Ephron than Rob Reiner.
I had heard her name before, but I didn't know. Well, but I guess with Rob Reiner too. Like, when I saw the headlines of Rob Reiner, I was like, oh my gosh, Jess's dad from New Girl? And then it wasn't until I looked it up that I was like, oh wow, like, he's done all of these things. And it was kind of the same with Nora Ephron. Like, I have heard of her, well, kind of the opposite, actually. I didn't know Rob Reiner's name. I knew his face. Nora Ephron, I've heard that. I've heard her name. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her face or, like, what work she had done.
Yeah. I don't know her face, actually. If you showed me a picture of her, I don't think I'd...
You're like, sorry, Nora. Were there any similarities that stood out to you?
about
with people on vacation.
No, I think you hit the main ones, but I did want to talk about the timelines and which one feels more realistic. So both People We Meet on Vacation and When Harry Met Sally, they cover like 10 to 12 years of time. And in our book episode, if you didn't listen to it, we talked about how it almost doesn't feel very realistic that Poppy and Alex took so long to finally kiss because they've had 10 years of history, they've spent all this time together, they're really close friends, blah, 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 blah. But I felt like it was a little bit more realistic in When Harry Met Sally because they only bump into each other 3 times over the course of 10 years before they actually form a friendship.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And I was trying to keep track of the seasons that it was showing. And I was going to guess that maybe like from when they did become friends to when they hooked up, maybe 18 months.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. Because it showed one year she got a Christmas tree with him. And then the next year she was trying to do it by herself because they were
fighting
in the middle of their fight. Yeah.
So 18 months, 100%. That's a believable timeline.
Especially because when they became friends, they both were coming out of long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And
it did feel much more. It's exactly like what we were talking about in our book episode of like what could have made this timeline feel more realistic. This did that.
Right.
That they knew each other, but not really. And there was always this kind of hint at like, even from the first, meeting, he says like, oh, you're very attractive, that. Like you could tell he was kind of into her from that first meeting. And so it did it in a way that's like, they didn't hate I don't think they ever hated each other. But she was like, ugh, I don't like you. But you almost got the vibe from her too that like, but maybe something was there. And so it was kind of this good balance of, no, I don't like you, but I'm a little bit fascinated by you.
Yeah. I mean, if someone spit grapes on my window in my car, it would probably take me...
Wait, he spit it on the window?
Yes, before you rolled the window down, there's like grapes spewed on her window. It would take me 10 years to recover, for sure.
That's a good... Okay.
You need to go back and watch that part, because I was like, oh my gosh, that's so gross.
I was eating chips at the beginning of the movie. I was distracted. I missed how gross he was, apparently.
Let me look at my notes, because I know there was another topic that Casablanca. Did you catch the Summer I Turned Pretty reference? Well, the Summer I Turned Pretty references When Harry Met Sally.
Okay. I wrote down Casablanca too, but not for the Summer I Turned Pretty. I just thought like it was interesting because I'd sent you a video of these like celebrities. They get asked what their Letterboxd top 4 movies are, and a lot of celebrities list Casablanca, but I've never seen it, so I thought that was interesting. But now that you bring up the Summer I Turned Pretty, was there a specific part that was like referenced in both, like the Summer I Turned Pretty and this?
Belly and Conrad have like that same conversation.
Oh,
like
really?
They don't agree. They're sitting there both watching Casablanca. They're together in the same room, but like Harry and Sally, they were like watching it on their own TVs while they're talking on the phone. But Belly and Conrad have that exact same conversation, not word for word, but like they don't agree on which man she should have ended up with in Casablanca. And I have seen Casablanca. I had to watch it for a humanities class in college, but I have no memory of it, so I guess I need to rewatch it since it keeps getting brought up.
We went to the same college and probably took the same humanities class, but knowing me, I probably skipped it and just tried to make up answers to whatever we had to write in response.
Those are the kinds of things you don't appreciate at the time.
I know.
If someone's telling you to watch or read something, you're probably not going to appreciate it. Now, if I watched it on my own, I might be really into it.
Maybe I'll watch it. I'm a little bit skeptical. I've never seen anything from it that has made me think like I'm going to love this, but it is like so loved. Like it's referenced just as much as When Harry Met Sally is, And so I feel like to be doing this podcast, I just need to watch it. So.
Well, if you watch it, that means I must watch it. So
we'll watch it.
Yes. Okay. Do you have
This
a
is
topic.
completely unrelated to anything we've talked about so far, but I just have to say, like, I was shocked that Princess Leia was in this movie. I think this is the only thing I've seen other than Star Wars with her in it. And it actually, like, I Googled it to make sure because I could not, like, she looked so different with her short hair that I kept second guessing myself. I was like, no, that's her. Oh my gosh. And I was like, wait, no, that can't be her. I'm like, no, that's her. And I looked it up. But I liked the storyline of her and his friend too. That was another part that made me laugh when they were like, well, they go on a date, and Issa said this in the synopsis of like neither one was really vibing with the friend that they brought. And she says like, well, don't tell him yet that you're not interested in him. You know, he's really soft and like his heart's been broken. And then he tells his friend like, well, don't tell her yet. You know, I don't want her to get offended. And they're both like, okay, we won't. We'll wait a week, whatever. And then immediately like jump in the taxi together.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cute.
It was like a good side plot.
Yeah. Because some side plots of other relationships you really don't care about. But like I thought that it brought like a good it was just like another side of I'm not putting this into words very well, but like there's so many different ways you can meet people and fall in love and find your person. Sometimes it is the person that you least expect, you know, and I just thought it was kind of cute. I just like seeing Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, they hit it off romantically immediately. And I had the same experience because I saw Carrie Fisher's name in the opening credits. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Carrie Fisher was in this. And then a whole scene went by and it did not register that was her. And it wasn't until her second scene that I was like, oh my gosh, that's Carrie Fisher.
I like recognized her the first second, but then like the more I stared at her, the more I was like, that can't be her.
Well, even Meg Ryan, because I was looking up her other movies, she looks way different in You've Got Mail.
I'd say even throughout this movie, they change her hair like 100 times.
The main thing I noticed was her goofy hat in that one scene. I think they're like in Central Park. You don't remember?
I remember her wearing a hat, but I don't remember it standing out to me as like, that's goofy. But honestly, I thought most of what they were wearing the whole time was kind of goofy. Like the 80s was so ugly. Like the very first scene, she's wearing these like business trousers cut off at the knee. And I'm like, those are some ugly pants. So I think I might have already been acclimated to the wacky clothes of the 80s.
Well, Billy Crystal's his like knit sweater that he wears in that one scene.
Yeah.
It's really iconic. Everyone wants the Billy Crystal When Harry Met Sally sweater.
Yeah, I actually did like some of his outfits. Like I liked the sweater, I like how he looked in the sweater, but also like the jeans and the blazer, like I kind of like that sort of it just feels very reminiscent of a lot of rom-coms, but that's the thing with like men's fashion through the 80s and 90s was quite a bit toned down and kind of blended one into each other. And so I recognize that and feel like more accustomed to that kind of style versus like the women's fashion changed so quickly through each decade that like nothing that Meg Ryan wore in this movie would you see in a 90s movie. Versus what
that's
he's
a good
wearing,
point.
you could see in a 90s movie or even a 2000s movie, you know? So,
yeah,
I did like the sweaters, though.
Yeah, and it ended up, because I always see this movie being referenced as a good fall movie, but they did celebrate New Year's Eve in the movie twice, so I think it worked out that we watched it this week.
It literally ends on New Year's Eve. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any scenes that you really loved or your favorite parts?
Oh, why is the only scene I can think of? For some reason, the only scene I can think of is when they're doing the wave. Let me think for a minute.
Should I share mine?
Yeah, go ahead and share yours.
Okay, let me see. The first moment that I thought like that I kind of was like, oh, this is cute. Which is why my rating might be a little bit higher than yours. Like, again, it wasn't quite a 4, but there were several moments that I was like, oh, they're falling in love. It was the first New Year's when they're dancing. And they're dancing cheek to cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see it kind of like click. Both of their expressions kind of change.
As they spin around, yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked that scene. But also
I read that they did that in one take.
Really?
Yeah.
Bravo to them. They really nailed it. Like the expressions, like how they're just like laughing, carefree, they're just having fun, and then yeah, then it's spinning around and his expression kind of starts to change, and then hers does, and they can't see each other. I just thought that was like a good scene. Also, when they were like fighting after he like runs into his ex-wife and he's kind of like grumpy and in a bad mood, and their friends are getting married, and he's like, what's the point? This is all going to be ruined anyways. Like, true love is stupid, basically. And they go out, they're fighting, and she's saying like, you know, lighten up, basically, and he's saying, you never face any of your feelings, none of your emotions, you know, why can't you be mad about anything? And it's this like really heated moment, and then all of a sudden, like, he kind of softens and he's like, I'm sorry, and they like give each other a hug. Like, I thought that was like a really sweet, cute moment.
I really liked that part too. Oh, I remembered a funny part. When he, this was the funny part I wanted to bring up earlier. Okay, so then later on, which I still want to go back to like when they kiss and have sex and stuff. But after that, they get in a big fight, and then he is trying to call her to apologize, and he won't stop calling her, but she's ignoring him. And then it cuts to him out in the city with his friend, and he's like, I'm done calling her, like, I just look like a schmuck. And then it cuts right back to him calling her again and like singing and being goofy, like leaving her these goofy voicemails
through the voicemail.
Yeah. I thought that was really funny.
This is why I'm saying he grew on me.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I attracted to this 41-year-old dude? Like I kept looking at him and I was like, are you cute? I don't know if you're cute. I'm just a sucker. I'm a sucker.
You were like attracted to him.
Yes. I was. Especially with the beard. I have to emphasize, like, when he had the beard, I thought he was cute. When he shaved the beard again and she was like, oh, I can see your face, I was like, I don't like that. But yes, I am like such a sucker for romantic gestures, and like I just know I'm her, because if a guy called me and was doing that, I'd be like, oh, okay, fine, I'll answer the phone, you know. That's when she like finally caves. And
yeah,
like,
I mean, no, it would work on me too, but I wasn't really attracted to Billy Crystal.
I have a crush on Billy Crystal.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, can we go back to the kissing scene?
Yes.
Okay, because I did really like, at first, I thought it was really cute when he was comforting her. Like, that was one of the parts that, yeah, I know, they pecked on the lips a couple times. Imagine, like, just doing that with your guy friends. But anyway, no, that was probably, I did like the part when they were dancing, like you mentioned, and the part where they hugged, and after that first fight they got in. But yeah, another part that made me like go, "Aw, that's so precious," was when he was comforting her because her ex-boyfriend was getting married. He was just like stroking her and hugging her and telling her it was okay.
Yeah.
But then
I like you.
I don't know how I feel about the rest of that part.
I feel the same way. Like, just if it was just a kiss, like People We Meet on Vacation, which we were, I mean, I wasn't really criticizing it, but I thought, like, how did you not just, like, actually hook up? But now seeing it, I'm glad that they didn't. Like, I'm really glad that the first time that they hook up in People We Meet on Vacation is them being like, well, okay, I guess it's still kind of similar. I guess they still have an awkward kind of falling out after their hookup in People We Meet on Vacation. But yeah, like the first part, I was like, oh, that's a good kiss. Like, like they kiss casually, like they're just comforting each other, and then they're like, oh, wait a second. And they like kiss some more, and I really did like that kiss.
Even though, sorry, I must interrupt.
No, do it.
Even though she was kissing him in the midst of her, like, mental breakdown?
I guess, I don't know. I think it might have been, I might have felt more mixed if she had delivered that scene differently. But because she was doing it so, like, over the top goofy, I just, like, thought she was just being, like, silly dramatic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think...
So that makes you like the kiss more or less? Because to me, that makes me like it less.
Well, I thought, like... No, I think... Okay, 2 parts to this answer.
Okay.
I would have liked it more if it had just been a kiss. I don't think the kiss was so much as the problem as much as them fully having sex. If he was kissing her in that moment because he genuinely was like, well, she's kissing me and I feel pity and I have to do that, then no, I wouldn't like that. If he was using that as an excuse after the fact to try to make it better, then like, I don't know. I think it would have been better with just the kiss though. Once they cross over into sex, it always gets like, because because what you're saying, like she was in an emotionally vulnerable position, and that's where it gets a little bit iffier with a lot of stories. And it's not just this movie, like that's pretty common in a lot of media. That I guess like it wasn't so bad for me because I didn't think she was actually emotionally distraught. I just thought like she's just feeling bad for herself and she's being dramatic, like silly. She's not actually like heartbroken. You know what I mean?
I think I see what you're saying, but either way, even the silliness of it, I feel like took away from them finally kissing.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a personal preference thing. Like, I just love a grand finale kiss where they're both like happy and excited to be kissing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas
No, I
this
agree.
this one was just like, oh, okay, so now you're gonna kiss?
Kind of liked, but again, that I kind of liked it because it felt like, it's just like people we meet on vacation. It's something messy. It's something messy that people that have been best friends for 18 months or longer would do, you know? Like, it's not...
Well, okay, let me clarify, because I do like the kiss and people we meet on vacation, but they're fighting, and I like that.
Well, I guess I'm talking more about, like,
I just
the
don't want you to
kiss.
kiss.
I'm talking
Don't
about their
kiss
first
someone.
kiss. When she's... I'm talking about their first kiss and people we meet on vacation. Like, if we... I don't know how they're going to show it in the movie, but their first kiss might be the drunken kiss.
No, they can't do that to us. Don't show it first. They won't show that first. I don't think so. But we're getting off track here. At the end of the day, if you're crying about someone else, I don't want you kissing anyone.
I just thought it was cute. I thought it was cute.
It's just not as fun to me.
They weren't kissing in that way, you know? But you're right. I mean, the whole scenario does take it out. But like through that narrow lens of, I just think like how they acted it, like they look kind of shy, like, what are we doing? What is this turning into? Like, I think the whole portrayal and the actual like kiss itself was a nice kiss, I think. Like,
yeah,
how
it was
they
a pretty
were kissing.
good kiss.
Logistically.
Visually, logistically,
yeah,
spiritually.
But you're totally right. The scenario as a whole alters it.
Yeah. The post-sex awkwardness was making me cringe, though, too.
Yeah, so that totally changed. I think I, like, even put in my notes, immediately was like, oh, I'm not really feeling this. Like, when he's laying there and just looks, like, scared.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like that. Like, I would have actually preferred it if it was like Belly and Conrad. You know, they crossed that barrier and she was having second thoughts. And I think I would have preferred that rather than him being like, oh, I felt smothered. When he said that, I was like, ugh, I don't like you anymore.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he says that to his friend. Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, only the girl's allowed to have second thoughts.
Yeah, she could feel smothered. No, but like, I want to see a guy like, I don't
like
know.
Conrad.
I want him to like be so obsessed with her. Conrad was like, that's the best decision ever. Like, so we're together now? And she's like, wait, what? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I've seen enough movies where guys are like, ugh.
Get scared.
This girl, yeah. But I guess if this is the OG, that I should give it a pass and go after all the movies that came after that redid it. But
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, are we on to our ratings now?
Yeah, like, what would you actually rate the kiss then?
I think, wait, let me look at my notes. Let me figure out which device I wrote my notes on. I think I gave the kiss, well, which kiss? That kiss or the finale kiss when they're actually together?
Let's rate both.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Both.
Both? Well, it's like you said, if you take the kiss out of context, their first kiss, it was a good kiss. I'd probably give it a 3.5 or maybe even a 4.
Yeah.
But in the context of what was happening, I have to demote it to a solid 3.
Okay. I'm like actually right along the same lines. I was going to say a 4. A 4 without any context.
So what would you give the final kiss then?
I guess also a 3 because I don't really remember it. Like, that,
that makes
first kiss was more memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last kiss, and I don't know, bless his heart, maybe I'm just not attracted enough to Billy Crystal, but I gave The Last Kiss a 3 as well.
Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't really think anything. It was like kind of a rushed, it felt like a slightly rushed ending.
I did like his speech, though.
Yeah. I love a good guy running after the girl. I gotta get to her in time and confess
That never
my
gets
love.
old.
No, yeah, they can redo that in as many movies as they like. And
In
I'll
fact,
eat it up.
it's honestly a criteria for what movies I decide to watch. They should just put it in every movie.
No, seriously. It actually really is in a lot of movies.
Yeah, because
But
it
for
never
good
gets old.
reason.
Okay, what about their chemistry?
It's sort of what we were talking about with Eternity, where it wasn't like fizzy pop hot chemistry because they were just friends and they just like had a lot of comfortable energy together. And so it's just made me change my perspective because usually when I think of chemistry, it's like, oh my gosh, they're so hot together. Where this is
Yeah.
this is different. Maybe a 3.75, 3.5.
I gave them a 3, but keep in mind, everybody, remember, 3 to me is good. I liked it.
Did you think their friendship chemistry, like if you were viewing them like as friends versus like a romantic couple, did it change or just like all across the board just wasn't like vibing with you as much?
Well, no, I
With
mean,
the
it
three
was
being good still, but
no, like it was vibing with me, and it was good chemistry.
just not
yeah,
the best you've seen.
yeah. It wasn't like I said this in the last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm not like, oh my gosh, put Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan in every movie together.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. And even like if we're talking about chemistry, I guess there really wasn't even a moment that I felt like, oh my gosh, just like kiss already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. That's a really good way of putting it.
Okay. Maybe 3 actually.
Whereas even in Before Sunrise, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need them to keep kissing.
Yeah. No, okay. You make some good points.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'd say 3 then too. Like I can already tell if anyone is watching these movie episodes and like doesn't read books, they don't know who Emily Henry is. They don't give a crap about her. And we're going to
They're like, who are Poppy and Alex?
But I can already tell from the trailers that I'm going to be like, "Oh my gosh, just kiss already."
Yes.
That I never felt in this.
But that's my favorite kind of romance. Okay, what
So-
about their longevity as a couple?
I guess yeah. I guess they could make it.
I'm trying to like think back to the montage of their friendship. Because I guess like we were saying, like at this point they've been friends for about 18 months, we think.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it. I buy it.
I mean, they know each other's quirks. They know each other's icks, like we were talking about. Like, he even said this to his friend. I can say anything I want because there's no expectation of, like, having sex with her. And so you can tell they probably were very, like, open with one another. And it's not like anything at this point is going to surprise them in their relationship. And so I think that's a pretty good basis. Whereas other romantic comedies, it's like, well, you guys haven't actually really like dated each other. You just like played some tricks on each other in the midst of a bed.
Played some tricks on each other.
That's all I can think of, like, for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. They were both just trying to chick each other the whole time.
They
you know?
just got up to some hijinks.
Yeah. Had some shenanigans.
No, I think they would last. I believe in Harry and Sally. What did you rate their meet cute?
Well, he was kind of icky, so.
Yeah. Like, I want to rate it higher because it's similar to people we meet on vacation. But he was, like, just so unappealing in that first scene. So I'd have to give it a 2.
Yeah, there are definitely some aspects that even if people we meet on vacation was inspired by this, there's definitely things that it did better than this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I was just thinking, because our ratings are kind of average to low. So would we declare this as certified? What's our acronym? WTK. Certified romance. Because
Dang, that's a really good question.
If you guys don't know, we have a stamp of approval that we did give to Before Sunrise, but we didn't give to the Christmas movies.
I mean, I guess it depends. What's that criteria? Like, are we recommending it? Or is it like the best of the best? Like,
I would recommend When Harry Met Sally.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
So I guess,
I think it gets our stamp.
yeah. Yeah, like I would want people to watch this. Like I enjoyed it.
Right.
I had fun. I thought it was nice. I liked the story. So yeah, we should give it.
Okay. It gets our stamp of approval. I just know some people are like, 3.5?
Well, I gave it almost a 4. No, I gave it what did I say? 3.75?
Yeah, you gave it 3.75.
Yeah, I felt like that's fair. Maybe if it's 3.5 or above, though, is kind of like the cutoff.
Recommend it.
Yeah.
Well, also, you kind of mentioned this in the Before Sunrise episode, but because I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it feels so crazy that I've never seen When Harry Met Sally. And then I start watching it, and I'm like, no, this makes sense. Like, this is not the type of movie my mom would have let me watch.
Yeah. Even though it's not, like, there's no nudity, there's no explicit sex scenes, but they talk about sex. Like, that's kind of the theme of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually surprised to see that it was rated R.
Yeah, so was I.
There were the things that I liked about Before Sunrise were similar to why I liked this movie. That it was just two people, like, talking and having these conversations that were, it's just interesting to hear, like, as an outsider, these different opinions and perspectives on these things, like dating and relationships and sex, and so I just like dialogue like that.
Yeah.
And again, that, like, we said in Before Sunrise that dialogue is missing from, like, new modern movies. And I feel like that's something that When Harry Met Sally did well, that maybe we're not giving it enough credit for, like, in this whole conversation. And, like, our ratings don't necessarily, like, show how I felt about that aspect. It just still feels like a lot of modern movies are missing that specifically.
That's a really good point. And maybe we need to, it's just because we're sitting here nitpicking it, but I really had a fun time watching it and I like it and would watch it again. So maybe we need to implement a segment where we specifically talk about the things that we do like, because I feel like as we start talking, it's just natural to be like, to gravitate towards the weird parts or the parts we didn't like. And this is like kind of on a different wavelength, but I do think it's interesting to analyze the content of a rom-com and its rating and how that affects its popularity. And, like, obviously When Harry Met Sally is a classic, and for A, B, and C reasons that we've discussed. But I feel like it's not a show I could show, like, my 12-year-old daughter. But I feel like I was watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days by the time I was, like, 12, 13, 14.
That's true.
And I remember when Anyone But You came out. I think this was just marketing, but people were like, oh my gosh, like, instant rom-com classic. And I remember watching it and thinking, like, I actually don't think this is going to make it into the classics because it's a little bit too raunchy. I feel like there's like a fine line, and not that I'm opposed to watching raunchy stuff, but I do feel like there's something to be said for the classic rom-coms that are classic because they're clean enough. They're, like, just clean enough that you watch them at an age where you're young enough to then feel nostalgic about something later on. Is this making any sense?
Yes. But I think what's interesting, and this is kind of what we were just talking about the different sub-romance, like rom-com genres, that there's the quirky kind of goofy ones, and those ones are, like you said, like, you can watch that with your teenage daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were just saying everything you're saying, it made me realize, well, like, Billy Crystal is 41. And
yeah, that's true.
And Meg Ryan's character is 32. I actually don't know, like, how old his character was supposed to be.
I think, like, about the same age because they graduated college at the same time.
Yeah. But, like, it feels like a movie for 32-year-olds. It feels like a movie for grown adults. Before Sunrise did too. Like, even though the content in that was probably more appropriate to watch with a younger person, it just feels like films for adults.
Right.
Anyone But You has like 3 nude scenes.
Yeah.
So like that is not even like a, well, but this movie is for 30-year-olds. One, because the characters were young. They're like in their early 20-ish vibes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the characters are young. So you'd think young people could watch it, but like that's not the case. There's a lot of nudity, which cuts out a huge portion of like a target audience if they don't want to watch things with nudity. And it's not just sex scene nudity. There's a girl running on the beach with her boobs out just for fun, and also shows a guy's schlong. And I'm like, just for fun. Like, it's not like any part of the story, you know? And so that cuts out a big group of people that want to watch that kind of movie. And I just don't think that, like, When Harry Met Sally, while it revolves around sex, still does it in a way that can appeal to a very broad audience, even if it is an older audience. Not that this isn't Anyone But You episode, but yeah, they just, I don't think nailed it that could be said. This is a classic.
No. And I mean, like I said, I think the people saying that when that movie came out were probably getting paid to say that.
Or they were just like, well, okay, I was going to say, or they're
not
young.
rom-com experts like us.
They're just not smart. No. Oh, well, I was going to say, like, well, if they're young, I guess, to the point you just made, they're not rom-com. I mean, you were making a joke about us being experts, but like, we are a different demographic.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, I judge things that were made for younger people because I'm like, oh, that's not the rom-com I grew up with. But who knows? Like,
right.
If the people that are 18 years old decide to make that their classic and that's the kind of media they're into, then like maybe this definition changes, you know? But I just don't relate to it because I was raised in this nice, wholesome rom-com era.
I just had another thought too.
What?
Another thing, like I feel like these movies, these classic rom-coms, the ones that have, you know, we would consider classic, I feel like they can also appeal to men.
Mm-hmm.
Like When Harry Met Sally, there's 2 sides to the whole movie. There's Harry's perspective on love and sex and dating, and then there's Sally's perspective. And I think men and women would both find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
Which, kind of along with this, a fun fact for you, this movie came out the same month that Seinfeld premiered. I don't know if you've ever watched Seinfeld, but that just, like, made sense to me. Like,
yeah. It's that era.
The same, it's like New York adults dating and, yeah. But anyway, or like even How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like I think maybe it's easy to say this now in retrospect, but as far as I'm aware, men like Matthew McConaughey. Like we don't have, who's like a male lead right now that men and women both would want to go see in the theaters? You know what I'm saying?
Well, guys, I feel like are trying to tell us that that's Glenn Powell, but I'm not buying it.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know, really. I'm actually at a loss of, like, who's this rising generation? Like, there are new stars, like, breaking through and becoming bigger. Like, Miles Teller, I feel like he's really kind of having his breakthrough now, even though he's been in other stuff. But, like, he's still old. Austin Butler had his breakthrough with Elvis, but he's still old. Like, who are these 20-year-olds? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't find anybody in their 20s.
Well, maybe things are just way too stratified now. Like,
yeah.
Because we have streaming and there a million movies come out every month that nobody's even heard of and don't go to the theaters. So maybe, like, the movie star just doesn't exist anymore.
I actually have read stuff like that.
And that's why Taylor Swift is such a phenomenon. She's like our last monoculture. But that can be another episode.
No, I actually wrote and this reminds me, the question I was going to ask at the very beginning was if this movie got so much critical acclaim, big awards that I personally, in my lifespan, I'm have we seen a romantic comedy be nominated for these kinds of awards? It was a BAFTA for Best Original Screenplay, nominations for the Academy Award, the Golden Globe.
Oh, wow.
Romantic comedies are not taken seriously anymore. I don't know. Maybe I need to actually do the research. I'm actually curious, like, what was the last romantic comedy that got nominated for awards like that?
Mm-hmm.
And to the point you were just saying, like, I think it is, like, everything is so strategized now and about the money and not about, like, the art, the story, the, like, what story are we telling,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Nowadays, it's how can we get more money? And we talked about this with the books, about going back and watching books before the tropification. And I've realized, I think that maybe we were just too young to notice this while it was happening. I think movies have already gone past the direction that books are heading. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Movies have already devolved into the tropification. It's we cast hot actor, we cast hot actress, we have silly, goofy plot, insert some jokes, sex scene, some tropes. That's your romance movie now. They're redoing When Harry Met Sally over and over and over again. You know, like, I think we've already reached that late stage in film.
Well, that's unfortunate for us, but good thing we have such a backlog to revisit.
I think it could be changing, though. Like, they're listening that women are reading romance books. They're bringing in a lot of these romance books to be the new movies coming out. So I have hope.
Yeah, it also makes me nervous, though, like the love hypothesis, for example.
Yeah.
Allie Hazelwood is really popular, and this movie has already gotten a ton of marketing, so I know it's going to make movie, but it would be relatively easy to churn out Allie Hazelwood adaptations and put a lot of sex in them for the shock factor.
Yeah.
And to get views. So, yeah, I just hope it helps our cause and doesn't hurt it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Very good
But
point.
you know I will be sat for the love hypothesis, 100%.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'll be watching it. It gives me hope, though, that they are older actors. Like, anything that, like, late 20s or 30-year-olds are in, I'm going to have a little bit more hope than, like, teenagers.
Yeah.
Teenage movie quality seems, like, way lower, like The Kissing Booth.
Right. Well, I mean, we don't really... All those books that we've read that are getting adapted... They don't have teenagers in them, so
that's true. That's true. I don't know what they're making for the teenagers, I guess.
Maxton Hall.
Yeah.
We need to watch that. Actually,
I do want to.
What's the My Life with the Walter Boys?
Oh my gosh, I can't do that one. Sorry.
Okay, no, I don't. It's okay.
Something about it just. Well, actually, I think it's I think we talked about this. Like, the boys look like boys. I don't want to watch. Like, I like being attracted to the leads, and I'm not attractive to teenage boys. So
that's why, like, I know you don't necessarily agree with me about Conrad, but Jeremiah looks like a teenager to me.
Oh, 100%.
So my, like, 28-year-old friends that are Team Jeremiah, I only have one of those.
You're giving him a side eye.
I'm like, he looks like a teenager.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
Okay, but anyway. I hear you have some Kiss, Marry, Kills for me.
I have some Kiss, Marry, Kills for famous, big, like, not just like, this isn't pulled out of nowhere. These are big 80s romance leads. Some I like more than others, but I'm just kind of surprised by who was, like, making headlines during this time. Kiss, Marry, Kill, 80s Leading Man Edition, number 1. These are maybe the most head-scratcher for me. John Cusack, Billy Crystal, Tom Hanks.
I knew Tom Hanks was gonna be in there. I don't really like Tom Hanks. Kiss John Cusack, kill Tom Hanks, marry Billy Crystal, I guess.
Okay, mine's the same. Okay, this one's gonna be better for you, okay?
Yours is the same? You'd give the same answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wesley, Princess Bride.
Okay.
His name's Carrie something. But, like, you see him as Wesley in The Princess Bride, not who he is now.
Okay.
Patrick Swayze. Tom Cruise.
What?
I hate him too. Okay,
Kill
replace
Tom
him.
Cruise.
Wait,
Okay.
Patrick Dempsey. He's the one in Grey's Anatomy, but he was in like
Okay.
Can't Buy Me Love. He was in some leads.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Can't Buy Me Love. Who was okay? Sorry, Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Dempsey, Patrick Swayze, Wesley, Princess Bride.
That's a tough one. I think I would kiss. The kiss and marry is always hard because it's like, what difference does it really make? I would marry Patrick Swayze, kiss Wesley, kill Patrick Dempsey.
Okay, kill Patrick. Okay. Last one.
Wait, what are you gonna answer?
I would honestly. That's hard because I actually really like all three of them.
Yeah, that is a hard one.
I guess I'll kill Wesley because he's blonde. I'll make it easy. I'll kiss Patrick Dempsey, marry Patrick Swayze.
Okay, so we'd be sister wives.
Yes. Okay, last one. I can't remember his name. Hugh Grant? There's a lot of guys like Hugh Dancy, Hugh Laurie, Hugh Grant, and they're all British, and I forget which one's which. Okay, Hugh Grant. The other one with gray hair with Julia Roberts.
It is Richard Gere.
Okay. Hugh Grant, Richard Gere, and Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
He's
Kill
in
Kurt
he's
Russell.
in Overboard. Romantic comedy in the 80s.
I haven't seen that. Sorry, who was my other option? Hugh Grant.
Richard Gere.
Kiss Hugh Grant. Well, maybe I would take Kurt Russell back, actually. Okay, I will kill Richard Gere, kiss Hugh Grant, marry Kurt Russell. I went from killing to marrying Kurt Russell.
I think I would. Well, I was gonna say marry Richard Gere, but maybe I'd marry Kurt Russell too. Like when I think about him in the 80s, like he's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd kiss Richard Gere, marry Kurt Russell, kill Hugh Grant.
Maybe I'd kill Hugh Grant, actually, now that I'm looking at Richard Gere again. What have I feel like I watched a movie recently with Hugh Grant, and I didn't really like him in it.
Oh, Heretic.
Did you see that?
No, but I was like, there's something lately he just played a crazy dude, and it was that one.
Yeah, he was in Heretic, and then he was in Willy Wonka, all within the span of, like, a couple years.
This guy might be desperate for a paycheck now. Those are random. No, I'm too scared. I would definitely never, ever, ever watch Heretic. I'm way too scared.
Yeah, I was interested in seeing it, but then I looked it up, and it sounded way too gory for me.
It's very gory, yeah. All right, that's all I have for you.
Well, that was fun. I love a good kiss, marry, kill.
These 80s men just have me a little like, oh. Like, who decided to put Tom Hanks in freaking 10 romance movies in the 80s?
Yeah.
I'm going to do some, like,
I'm not feeling
survey. I'm going to get feedback from women of that era who would have been watching those. And, like, am I missing something? Like, did you consider him a heartthrob?
No, we should do a poll. Although I know from our Instagram stats that most of our followers are in the 25 to 34 years old range, so...
Everyone go ask your mothers.
Yeah. I know, I kind of want to text my mom after this and ask her.
Do it.
All right, well, you guys, next week is the week. People we meet on vacation, and we will have an episode ready to go the day of. So
stay tuned for our book selection. We're going to be putting out a poll so that people can choose with us, and we'll announce that on our Instagram.
Actually, by the time this episode goes up, we might... But yeah, we'll see you guys next Friday for People We Meet on Vacation. Bye!